For the first time since June, we're starting off a sins video of negative sins. Unlike last year, this year's Game Awards was actually sort of decent in my opinion. I initially went into this with very low expectations. I thought this entire show was going to be a clown fest or a massive disappointment like last year or this year's Summer Game Fest. I was even at one point planning the Sin Summer Game Fest 2024, but to be honest, it was so disappointing that I didn't even bother. This year's Game Awards had more announcements I'm interested in and games I actually care about. The entire year of 2024 was extremely mid, and not just in terms of video games. I'm not going to go through the entire timeline, but the video game part of 2024 mostly feels like filler, like it exists just to exist. The list of games I actually care about or semi-care about in 2024 are Black Myth Wukong, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Astrobot, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Stellar Blade, Silent Hill 2, Sparking Zero, and Black Ops 6. Really not that many games. Still though, I have to give my props to Jeff Keighley for making an award show that didn't make me want to hang myself. Well, not completely anyway. More on that later.
Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics.
A collection of old fighting games is eligible for a Game Award category?
Next up are our 3 esports categories.
Jesus Christ, people still give a fuck about esports? Netflix games.
You know where we're going?
Towards those, come on!
Scripted commentary.
And Star Wars Outlaws.
Ah, Star Wars Outlaws, the game that Ubisoft at one point charged $200 with taxes for the Ultimate Edition. I wish I was kidding. Ubisoft must think we have unlimited money or some shit because who the hell is paying that much for a video game? At some point later on, they did attempt to cover their big juicy smackable ass by dropping the price to $130 and then pretending like it was never $200 in the first place. Holy shit, that's Todd Howard? Bro looks like a midget next to Troy Baker. Age has not been kind to you, buddy.
And the winner is Melinda Juergens.
I'm a little biased since Silent Hill 2 is my personal game of the year, but Luke Roberts was fucking amazing as James Sutherland. I'm sorry. You can't be fucking serious. Another DLC? Really? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth getting a PC port. No sins here. Though it really should just be called Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, Rebirth, since that's really what it is. It's titles like this that confuses newcomers like me. I genuinely thought at one point that Rebirth was just a remastered version of the remake or something. Realistic cat simulator? Xbox. Microsoft. Nintendo.
The Game Award goes to Grand Theft Auto 6.
Whoever thought GTA 6 was not going to win this category was delusional. There is simply not a game that exists that is more anticipated than GTA 6. The fact that a DLC is even eligible to be in a category at the Game Awards should be a sin within itself, but it's an add-on or an expansion to a game that already won Game of the Year 2 years ago. Yeah, I'm one of those people. Ubisoft. Don't get me wrong, this new game that Capcom is making looks cool as shit, but what the hell happened to Pragmata, and why haven't we gotten an update on that?
Here are the nominees for Best Action Adventure Game.
Why the hell is Silent Hill 2 in the action adventure category? It's a horror game.
And the Game Award goes to Queso!
Hey, at least they gave the award to an actual person this time, and Queso was a pretty good content creator. Good for him. This is a sin though. MetaQuest. Fortnite. Blah blah blah, another ad. Oh, The Last of Us Part 2 is getting a PC port. I sort of predicted The Last of Us Part 2 would get a PC port in my Last of Us Part 1 video. I just didn't expect it to be announced at the Game Awards. If you go to Steam or the Epic Games Store, then type in The Last of Us Part 2, you'll find that aside from Naughty Dog, both Nixxes and Iron Galaxy are listed as developers for the PC ports. For anyone that doesn't know, Nixxes Software is the team of people behind the PC ports of every other PlayStation Studios game except for The Last of Us Part 1. That port was being outsourced to Iron Galaxy, and that's not even the first time they've messed up on a PC port either. I talk more about this in my upcoming Last of Us video, so I'm not going to say too much here. If Part 2's PC port actually ends up being phenomenal and properly optimized on launch, then thank God Nixxes Software was there to make sure Iron Galaxy didn't fuck it up. If Part 2's PC port ends up being dog shit, then thank God I didn't pre-order it like I did with the first game. Snoop Dogg's entire performance. Mafia the Old Country is looking amazing, and it actually looks like you're a part of the Mafia this time. Hopefully I get around to seeing the Mafia remake at some point, but thank God the Old Country isn't shaping up to be a disappointment like Mafia 3. What the fuck is Genshin Impact doing in this category? Oh, it's another one of those your choices won't actually matter type game.
And the Game Award goes to Metaphor. ReFantasia.
You know, it's bad enough that Silent Hill 2 got nominated for 5 categories, didn't win a single award for any of them, and got omitted from the Game of the Year category. The only category I didn't mind it losing was the Action Adventure category, since it really didn't belong there to begin with. Watching Silent Hill 2 not win the Best Narrative category made me violently slam my desk and made me want to put a noose around my neck. Sort of like in that one shot where James is gripping the noose in his hands in the Hangman Gallows puzzle. Naughty Dog making a space sci-fi game sounds pretty interesting actually. I'm glad Naughty Dog attempts to experiment with new IPs instead of clinging on to their old ones forever. Sony Santa Monica should really take a page from Naughty Dog's book and not cling to God of War all the time. I actually talked a little bit about this in the God of War script and never finished. The title of Naughty Dog's next IP is called Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet. Apparently it's about a woman named Jordan who is a dangerous bounty hunter in an alternate universe where technology has advanced extremely by the 1980s. Based off of what we saw at the end of that trailer, I'm guessing it's mostly going to be a hack and slash game. We also saw Jordan pick up and holster some sort of space pistol earlier in the trailer, meaning some gunplay might be in there too. I am writing this in only 2 days after the Game Awards and the discourse surrounding this game is already giving me a headache. The anti-woke grifters didn't waste any fucking time being, well, anti-woke grifters. The trailer got dislike bombed to hell on YouTube. You have incels being shallow as fuck about the way the female protagonist looks, or that you have to play as a female in general, and so much other shit. On the other side of the spectrum, you have people ready to glaze and dick ride Naughty Dog even though we haven't seen the actual gameplay yet. This is all happening over a game that might not even see the light of day until probably 2029. PlayStation.
And the game of the year is Astrobot.
To be honest, good for Astrobot. I'm just glad it wasn't Shadows of Earthtree that won Game of the Year. That would have really pissed me off. Would have been funny as hell though.
They didn't make it to increase market share. They didn't make it to serve as a brand. The people in charge forbade them from cramming the game with anything whose only purpose was to increase revenue and didn't serve the game design.